Hello, welcome to my home. Welcome to bye-bye loneliness for a little bit while we're here together in like a little community. And I'll do some chatting and I'll show you some collages. Now, in video number 10, I was working on a collage and I promised to show it to you what I came up with as the finished collage. Because sometimes when I'm working on something with you on a video, I will change it a little bit before I come back on the next video with the final one. And this time I did change it a little bit here, and I put this baseball player reaching for the ball. And then I took a piece that was on this side of the background and I put it on the back of the card. Now this card is from a piece of cardstock, just 8.5 by 11 cardstock. Fold it in half, and I had bought a envelope that is a 9 by 6 envelope, which fits perfect. So that's kind of a fun thing you can do if you want to be creative, and you can write a note over here, just leave that blank, anything you want to do. So that was our collage from video number 10. So I'll put that aside over here, and I'm on the couch when I do this. All my collages I have done on the couch, even my large ones. The largest one I've done was 22 by 24, where I included all my cousins, 24 of us all together. I have my water. So get yourself comfortable and we'll just have a little time together. I thought for something different, I would read you this poem I wrote. It's just a sweet little poem about my cat Hannah. And it's sort of funny. And well, I don't know if it's funny, but it's kind of rhymey, something like a kid would write. But just for something different for our chat time, okay? Hannah. Hannah is my cat. She is a little fat. She licks her fur and likes to purr. When she frolics in the yard, stalking like a leopard, grasshoppers soon lose their bounce when she whops them in a pounce. One time she nabbed a bird. I nearly shat a turd. Bunnies escape between the fence, making Hannah's face get tense. I discovered her garter snake when our Auntie Grug began to shake. She'd eat all day if she had her way. A football-shaped tummy, a cute sachet. Less food, more play we have to do, lest her cute meow become a moo. She's interesting, fun, and has super smarts, the best part of our family, plus she never farts. You know, sometimes I write poems, they come out of nowhere. I mean, I don't consider myself a poet. You know, like the poets sit down every day and they think about things and they notice environments. But every once in a while, a poem pops out. So if you have a poem that's going to pop out, here's one I wrote. It's not the happiest poem, but it's just 3 lines. And let me think if I can remember it. It's too dry. The trees need water now. Collect my tears. I know. We worry about, but today is March 18th, 2026, and it's 72 degrees here in Boulder, Colorado, and tomorrow's going to be 77. We barely had winter at all. We had a couple of short cold snaps, and then back on the East Coast, they're getting all the cold weather and mobs of snow. So it's really weird. I shouldn't smile when I say that. I just want to smile at you because I'm so happy you're here. So what I do, if you haven't been here before, welcome, is I put a pillow on my lap, pillow behind my back, pillow on my lap. And I found this old frame at a yard sale. So I use that on top of the pillow. And then you can use a clipboard if you want. When I'm just working myself on things, I usually just put a clipboard on the pillow. So I was doing some work on projects to show you. And I came across this that came in the mail. Thought, all right, Easter's coming for people who celebrate Easter in any way that you do, whether just to get the basket and the candy or go to church or whatever you do. I found this background in a magazine, I think. No, this was on a calendar. Obviously, I'm looking at the back of the calendar. And I thought, what can I do with that? So I'm going to tip the camera down for us to take a look at that. And I'm trying something new here. So let's get this camera tilted down. And I'll try not to. And here is the workstation on my lap. Gotta make sure that you can see it. Maybe tilt it up a little bit. Yeah. Oops, I knew that was gonna happen. That happened last time too. I think we all need to have a little grace for ourselves. And if we're not perfect, we're not perfect. We're doing the best we can. And that's my message for y'all. We're doing the best we can. Tilt it a little bit more up. Could I do some editing? I guess I could get brave and try and learn some editing. But isn't this more fun? You can show your friends and say, what the heck, this person? Okay. So here's our background. And I use some paper to do my gluing on. I just keep my glue and scissors and glue stick all here in a plastic bag. Take a couple out. Sometimes I use this sharp edge for things. Not so much for cutting out. Put that over there. The scissors over here. And I got more freebie cards in the mail. Tons and tons of freebie cards, and I use these, and I'll just put my collage on top of that card if I want to send a card to somebody. So I'm going to have to get a bigger bag. Put that over there. So we have this, and I use a white piece of paper, so I can do my glue sticking all over here when I'm putting glue stick on the back of images. So I have the images I'm going to use in here. And I was working on this for a few days. It didn't come right away, but that's probably just because I'm worried about if your guy's going to like it or if you all going to like it or not. And I shouldn't worry because it's just collage. And I want to stress that to everyone. It's collage. And it's not that you don't care, but you can always fix it. Collage is easy to fix. Look at that. I put my own self behind this big sunflower, and I found that on a different calendar. And I get these calendars in the mail too. Free calendars, free maps, free cards that come in the mail from organizations that would like me to donate to them. And that's okay. I save them. I don't put them directly into the recycle bin. Okay, everyone went everywhere here. So I have this bird over here, and I found this cat, and I thought, well, that was kind of cute because it looks like she's trying to paw at that guy on the whatever that is, sailplane thing. I don't know. See, I am so not perfect that you all can feel good. And then I found this big bird, kind of like looking at everything, like, what the heck is going on? And then because Easter's coming, I wanted to put a little bunny there. So when we were here on video number 10, I was telling you about my experience of moving to co-housing. Very unexpected. So you can go back to that if you want to hear more. I don't want to repeat myself too much. But my husband and I were in Florida for the winter. First time we had ever tried that in 2020, beginning of 2020. And when we were here in Colorado, we had been considering this thing about co-housing. I had heard about it out of the blue. I went looking for some people to do art with. I had gone on to like the meetups, and I found these co-housing people, artists, and they were going to have a farm, and it was still in the beginning stages. They hadn't built anything, but it was in an area not far from where we lived at all. So we're in Florida, having a good time in Delray Beach. My husband was working because he's been working remotely since 2012. And all of a sudden this idea came to me. And that's one of the problems of being kind of a creative person. You get ideas. That's a good problem when you're going to do something creative. But I don't know if it's a good problem all the time, because maybe some ideas just aren't good ones. But I'm the kind of person that follows my ideas. So my idea was this. Get to it, Jean. Everybody's waiting. Why don't we, at the third week of March, when we plan to come back to Colorado, why don't we, instead of that, go up to Maryland? My family was there. We can see the cherry blossoms in DC, and then come back to Colorado in April or the beginning of May, because it can still be kind of cold and dreary until the end of April here in Colorado. This winter was an exception. But, and then I thought, why don't we just look, I'll give a call to some co-housing areas up there to see if they have any, first of all, and see if we can stop by and just see what they're like there, for the heck of it. Anyway, we ended up buying one, and I told you all about that in the previous video. But I wanted to tell you about co-housing, because most people I know have never heard of it, including myself. I had never heard of it until I found it through that meetup. Co-housing is like a condominium community, and it can either be condominium units, or if a co-housing community has more property. We just took off the top. See what I'm saying about? You just glue it back on. We'll glue it back on this way. Just stick it back on there, and all is well. Some communities, you know, they have single family houses or townhouses, or a combination of condos and townhouses and single family homes. So in that regard, it's like just regular, you know, you have your whole house, you have your bedrooms, your kitchen, everything. But in co-housing communities, you get a little more involved. Like, one of the things all co-housing communities do is they have potlucks on a regular basis. Some have one a week, some have 3 a week. And you either bring your own meal, you know, if they want to keep it real casual, or people sign up to help cook. And everyone gets together, and it's a way for people to get to know each other and be part of a community. Like in regular neighborhoods, people don't do that on a regular basis. Maybe once in a while, like when we were living in the country, this one neighbor would have a bonfire once a year. And that was fun. So here we go. We got a collage already. So I'm trying to show you that. So I really like this. Okay, so let's put this aside. Oh, but before we do, I sign all my collages. So we're going to sign it over here. I don't care really if people see my name that much. I sign it easy. And if I take a picture of all my collages. So if I take a picture and get it onto a document and make it smaller, like a 5x7, so I can use the copy and cut that out and put it on the front of one of those freebie cards, then I can send a copy of my collage. Because there's a lot of collages I make that I like so much, I don't want to send my original, and that's just me. I know. So then I took out some more. Here's a card that came in the mail. Freebie card, a couple freebie cards. Got another one here. And because Easter is coming, like I say, I got more Eastery. But I wanted to demonstrate to you how I can make things harder for myself. I guess everyone does. Some people are real organized and never mess up. But what I happened to do this time is, too late, I thought I want to put these images on the cardstock paper, like this, cardstock paper. So they're like little puzzle pieces, you know, they have some heft to them. And what I didn't think of first was to put the images on the cardstock first and then cut them out. And what I did was I cut out the images and then I put them on the cardstock. And then I thought, oh, now I'm going to have to cut them out again. So I didn't cut them out perfectly to the edges like I do a lot of the time. I could show you what I mean by that, getting perfectly to the edges with this Easter egg. Get real close to the edge. But this time, I'm going to show you how it looks just as good anyway if you don't want to cut things close to the edge. So there's the Easter egg. And here's the card we're going to use. This one, I don't know where I found all these images. I think I found them in a magazine. And I have the little chicks for Easter. And the reason I switched those is there was more pink over here, and that pinkish one would be blending in. So I just switched it so it was more contrast. You could see it better. And then this bird flying down. Well, maybe I'll cut a little bit off here so we can see the wings. Just pull that out. Yeah, that's good enough. And it'll be like you did it on purpose that way. That's what I say. Hey, you just did it on purpose that way. And there's these two boys, and they're playing soccer. I gotta figure out. I think I have the girl here swinging. It's amazing how it just always works out. And the rabbit over here looking up at the girl, and the boys here playing their soccer. So you might have children in your life that play soccer, and they would love to see something like that, and they would love it especially if it was them. And the Easter egg. So we got a little Easter one going. And I found this little saying, you know, Winnie the Pooh, any day spent with you is my favorite day, so today is my new favorite day, right? That could be today for us. You could put that inside the card. And I'm going to put this aside for now. And what I do, if I'm not going to glue stick them on right away, I put them inside the card, and put the card inside the envelope. And I'll do that later and show it to you next time so I can finish up a story. It's hard for me to show you collage and finish up a story I'm telling you about co-housing. So let me just do that before we sign off for the day. And co-housing, another way that co-house, oops, that was the palm of my hand. That didn't look so great. I am going to post it anyway. I don't care. If anything, I can help people who watch my videos not be perfect, not care, and post them anyway. So, another thing they had at co-housing, and a good way to get to meet people, is they have teams. Like they have a landscape team and a finance team and a team to take care of various areas of the community. There was a green roof and there was a pergola up there, so they have a roof team and the gym team, anything. And it wasn't like if you were on the, like they had a common house, which would be like a community house, they call it a common house. I guess that's because in Denmark, where co-housing got started, they called it a common house. And they had a huge kitchen and a dining room. So if you were on that team, it didn't mean you had to go there and clean it. It means that you just go and check on things and make sure everything's working okay. And if people had been using it and not cleaning up, then you send an email to ask the people to please go and clean up. So, and then we would get together once a month, and we were there during lockdown, so we got together on Zoom, but typically you would get together once a month in person and have various topics to bring up to discuss. And sometimes people thought differently about how things should be done. But what I noticed was even if you felt one way about something and another person felt another way, very strongly, strong differences on a topic. Like we lived in an urban area, and one side of the building was on a pretty busy street. And there was always a conversation about, should we put a gate? It was a U-shaped building, and we thought, should we put a gate before you could come in? And I was all for it. Yes, 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 let's put a gate. But other people were like, no, they wanted the place to be more open and friendly and welcoming. So you could have two people on the, opposite sides of a topic, but when you would see them around the campus, is what I called it, just walking here, walking there, everybody was really friendly no matter what, if you disagreed. So that was really nice. So sometimes co-housings are described as intentional communities. That means, you're more intentionally involved in having potlucks or barbecues. We would, every month, everyone had different birthdays, in different months. They would have one big birthday celebration with a cake to celebrate everyone who had a birthday that month. All the holidays were celebrated. And like I say, one or two potlucks. And then you would eventually find people you had things in common with. During lockdown, we moved in at the very end of March. And so how were we going to get to know anybody? We got to know some people, that were right near us, next door, on our walkway. There was a walkway in front of all the doors going into our condominiums. But and then we had a email with everyone who lived there. So if you sent the email, it went to everyone who lived there. So everyone was ordering, our groceries online and having them delivered. Most people had them delivered, and a lot of the people in the community had really small kids. So one day I got this bright idea. I'm going to send an email to the community. I have an order I'm putting in at the grocery store. Would anyone like to add to it? Oh my gosh. It wasn't until I hit send that I thought, there are 63 households in this community. I may have just got myself into a big pickle. But luckily, I think it was only 6 or 7 people that said, yeah, sure, thank you. And so that was kind of a big job, getting that all organized and everyone getting the orders they wanted and making sure it was the right thing. And I kept doing that, and I got to know people that way. So I think that's all I'm going to talk about co-housing for now. I could have a lot more to say about the area we lived in, and I will, or go on to another topic. Please say anything you would like to in the comments about how I'm doing, what you like or don't like about how I'm demonstrating these collages, my stories. Tell me a story, in the comments. And have fun collaging. I'm glad we had this little time together to say bye-bye to that loneliness and a little bit of community time. So this will be video 11, and I'll see you at the next one, video 12. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I like to say bye with big arms. Bye for now.